Hey everyone, this is Nathan Broeckelman, and this is my Mod 8 Leading with a Moral Compass presentation for AEP 855 in Educational Leadership. The first thing we had to do is do some summaries and look at some resources to help us form our own moral compass. The first resource, moral compass, the main thing I got from that was that your word has to be your bond. Having a moral compass helps us guide our... I misspelled a word! Hey everyone, this is Nathan Broeckelman, and this is my Mod 8 Leading with a Moral Compass presentation for AEP 855 Educational Leadership. Now the first thing we need to do is look at some resources so that we could help see what a moral compass is and how to form our own moral compass. The first resource was Moral Compass, and basically what I got from that was your word has to be your bond, and this has a lot to do with integrity, which we've talked a lot about in this class. Having a moral compass helps us guide our yeses and nos. In almost every decision, integrity is involved. Having high integrity will not only help you make right or wrong decisions, but also others will have a good idea where you stand on certain issues. And as previously noted in different assignments, I'm a firm believer in having high integrity. That's one of my top things, but we'll get to that when we get to my moral compass. The second one is having a moral compass. And the main thing I got out of this was that most of morals are based on emotion. A lot of times your brain already makes most decisions for you, even though you try and rationalize why you're making the decision. So if your gut gives you a bad feeling, you may want to rethink your decision. Too many times, a lot of times, there's too many times and different times that you don't listen to your gut and you get yourself in a sticky situation. I'm not saying that your gut's always right, but it's a good idea to kind of see how you're feeling, even when you're trying to rationalize why you choose to do something. And the next thing was the concepts unwrapped, moral emotions. The four things you need to remember when dealing with moral issues. You always want to remember to put people first, always respect people's decisions, even if you disagree with their choice, treat everybody fairly, and to be honest. Those are four key things that will help form your moral compass, and hopefully those are high on your list. And they're going to help you make decisions when it has to do with morals and ethics and just decisions in life. The next one is set your moral compass true north. This kind of where it talks about what a moral compass should look like, kind of, or at least how I took it. True north is where you should want to be heading. So by placing a moral in front of a compass, we create a clear vision of the mental process that points us in the ethical direction. Now, the golden rule and the rights rule, for those that don't know, the golden rule is respect others, or treat others like you'd like to be treated. Nobody likes to be disrespected. And the rights theory is when you give someone an obligation that you're going to hold your word and stay true to that obligation. So these are good theories when looking at ethical decisions. And then the last one we looked at was the moral compass. Another thing, placing moral in front of the word compass, is that it paints a clear picture of mental processes that point a person in a particular direction in life. So very similar definition to the previous resource that we had. But mainly you want to find what the most important moral value to you is and head in that direction when it comes to decision making. Now, if you're heading the other direction, to the south, in other words, in a visual picture, you may start making wrong and immoral decisions. The problem with this is that most people in today's world do not want to know where true north is, as they don't want that to interrupt their life or change their lifestyle so that they're actually acting morally or ethical behaviors. A lot of people don't want that interruption, and they don't really want to talk about it or being confronted with it. So as school leaders, we have to make sure that if we're dealing with that type of issue, that we go about it in the right way to make sure that we can help them out and not just burn a bridge with somebody, especially if you're new to a community. I know my compass is pretty simple, but we're going to talk about these each. True north for me is integrity. Integrity, as I've said in previous presentations and discussion boards, this is very high on my list. Being a man of my word and making sure that I'm doing what's right when no one's watching, that's very key to me. So I want to make sure I'm always heading in the right path and making sure integrity is involved in my decisions. To the east, I put honest. I still feel like these east and west are still good things. When you're being honest with people, you want to make sure you're just being truthful. Sometimes the truth hurts, but it's better than making up a lie and getting caught in that. So you just want to make sure you're being honest and truthful and fair to everybody around you. And to the west, I put worthy. And the reason why I used the word worthy was partially because there's a W there for West, but you want to make sure you give people the time of day. You want to make sure that people feel that they're worth your time. You don't want to just sit there and ignore them or maybe just halfway listen to them. You want to be make them feel worthy so that they can respect you as after you give them the respect of maybe listening to their opinion or listening to their side of the story. You want to make sure people feel wanted or worthy. And then to the south, I put selfish. There's a lot of selfish people out there, unfortunately, and it's hard to break people of that. They want what's best for themselves, and that's not what you want to be doing, especially as a leader in education. You cannot put yourself in front of everybody. You cannot do everything you can to try to be better than everybody else. Now, a little competition is fine, but we're not talking about sports here. We're just talking about being selfish, greedy, or things like that. On the next page is my references, the 5 references that we looked at and summarized, and my addendum for our standard 2 ethics and professional norms. My correlation, this assignment correlates with the above standard because making a moral compass for ourselves will help us make the best decisions for our staff and students. The resources provided helped us learn what a moral compass is, as well as what kind of things should be keeping us heading in the right direction. We want to make sure we establish a good moral compass and start heading north. This assignment is also relevant to my current learning because as a future leader in my school, I need to be able to have a good moral compass to follow in decision making. This assignment improved on my understanding of having a moral compass and its benefits. Following my moral compass will help me make better decisions. In the reflection, this assignment will help influence decisions I make as a future leader by giving me guidelines to follow when making decisions. Creating a moral compass helps me see what I truly hold as my belief system. My presentation and video show proof of what I want to be like when making decisions and will help hold me accountable for when I am in position to make decisions. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing what you all have to say.